Congratulations. I now invite His Excellency Ban Ki-moon, Secretary General of the United Nations, to address the audience.
Professor Joseph Klafter, President of Tel Aviv University, Professor Yaron Oz, Rector, Professor Karen Abraham, Vice Dean of the Secular Faculty of Medicine, His Excellency Ambassador Danny Danon, Permanent Representative of Israel to the United Nations and Chairman of the Legal Committee, Sixth Committee, Mr. Chairman. Congratulations, Mr. Chairman. It's a great pleasure to see any Israeli, for the first time in the history of the United Nations, is now sitting in such an honorable position as a chairman of the Sixth Committee, known as Legal Committee. Everything legal will come from his leadership. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, shalom, shalom. I'm delighted to visit Tel Aviv University and deeply honored to receive the George S. Wise Medal from this prestigious academic forum. There may be many ways to describe a person's ability or character: courageous or wise, honorable or humble. There may be many. In fact, there have been many ways to describe my character, me as a person. But with this medal, I'd like to be wise man now. This is most important character of a person. So let's be a wise person. I thank you very much for this recognition. I know that this recognition symbolizes common goals of our institutions: progress, prosperity, and peace. I accept this humbly in the name of all the women and men of the United Nations working to advance peace, development, and human rights around the world and around the clock. I look forward this morning to the innovative presentations that will follow this ceremony. Over the past almost 10 years as Secretary General of the United Nations, I have witnessed countless examples of the power of science and technology to transform human lives and our life. Advances in health have helped mothers survive childbirth and assure their young ones a healthier future. A revolution in energy is ushering in a future of sustainability. Global communications technologies are linking people as never before in webs of commerce, culture, and connection. Our challenge is to harness the innovation taking place in the research labs of this campus and around the world to meet the challenges facing humanity, from tackling climate change and disease, to preventing cybercrime, to promoting food security, and so much more. I am pleased that cooperation between the United Nations and Israel on these issues continue to grow. Last December, the General Assembly of the United Nations adopted a resolution on agricultural technology initiated by Israel. In 2014, UN member states adopted another Israel-sponsored resolution promoting entrepreneurship. The United Nations is drawing on the advice of Israeli organizations working to advance human rights, enhance disaster relief, and expand opportunities for people with disabilities. Two such NGOs, Zaka and Access Israel, have been granted special status at the United Nations. And just this month, for the first time in history, as I just introduced, the permanent representative of Israel, His Excellency Ambassador Danny Danon, was elected chair of one of the General Assembly's 6 primary committees comprised of all member states. These are examples of growing recognition of the contribution Israel can make and has been making, and how Israel and the United Nations can work together for the global common good. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, dear students, beyond scientific and technological research, I know Tel Aviv University is also a place of learning and innovation in the humanities, history, and much more. In fact, a member of my own delegation, David Sharia, where are you sitting? Oh, yes. He earned his PhD from the Law School of Tel Aviv University, and he's a great asset in the UN staff. It's a reminder that whatever the discipline, universities above all provide a space to think and debate and dream. That's why I love visiting universities. I always come away stimulated by the energy, creativity, and fresh ideas of the students and also professors. I'm pleased that the first stop of my visit to Israel is to a place of higher learning with those who will shape the future of this country. I started this particular journey on Thursday in Havana, Cuba. I went to witness and support the signing of an interim peace deal between the government of Colombia and the FARC rebels, Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia and People's Army. They have been fighting for more than half a century, 52 years to be exact. The battles claimed many thousands, in fact more than 250,000 people killed, and many millions families shattered. Last week, these old and bitter enemies laid down their arms. It was an extremely moving ceremony, unthinkable just a few years ago. And it offers a glimmer of hope to our troubled and turbulent world. There is a tug of war going on in and our world today, a push and pull in societies, north and south, east and west. Never have we been so able to reach out and engage with the world. At the same time, never in my years as a Secretary General have I seen such potent forces rising up in societies, urging people to retreat, preying on insecurity, profiting on division, promoting fear. Turn inward, they say. Build barriers. It is our way or no way. I think perhaps the biggest war being waged today does not involve guns or tanks or fighter jets. The biggest confrontation is the battle for minds. On the one hand, there are those who want to divide the world into us and them. On the other, stand those who see humanity, in the words of the UN Charter, as we the peoples. This is a battle that we the peoples simply cannot afford to lose. During my visit, I will continue to deliver the same message. Do not allow the extremists on either side to further fuel the conflict. Palestinians and Israeli leaders must stand firm against terror, violence, and incitement. We need innovative thinking and action to tear down the walls of mistrust. I urge the startup nation to help us all start up peace, start up understanding, start up reconciliation for a better world. Most of all, I urge you to be a global citizen. I'm particularly talking to young students. Be a global citizen. Be a proud citizen of your country, but never forget that challenges know no borders, and that you are also a citizen of the world. Embrace that understanding. Practice it in your daily life. We have a new agenda that can help realize that vision. It was unanimously adopted last September by the leaders of the world, of the United Nations. 193 member states unanimously adopted this vision. It is called 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, and with the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, which covers whole spectrums of our life and our planet Earth. It's a blueprint, building a people-centered and planet-friendly future. It will put us and all of our people and our planet Earth onto a sustainable path. Our ambition is a world where we can leave no one behind. Everybody should be on board. Our goal is a life of dignity for all. As a universal agenda that applies to all people and all the countries. It is as relevant to a villager in a far-off community as it is to a young person upset with the growing inequality and injustice around the corner. I urge you to make most of this agenda and its 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Use it to fight inequality, build bridges rather than building walls, secure human rights, ensure inclusive societies. Excellencies, distinguished professors, ladies and gentlemen, dear students, I want to thank you once again for this opportunity and for this great honor for me and for the United Nations. Over the course of the next 2 days, I will speak to the leaders responsible for bringing peace to Israelis and Palestinians. I will discuss in-depth concrete actions to make words reality. As I do, I have a Hebrew word foremost in my mind, the word for responsibility, achrayut. I have been told that it is based on a word, acher, which means the other, not me, the different one. In other words, responsibility is more than taking ownership for one's actions. It is about seeing your actions through the prisms of others' concerns and seeking to understand their needs as your own. If everybody practices this spirit of responsibility, achrayut, I think our world will be much more peaceful and harmonious and prosperous. This wisdom teaches us that we cannot be a world of us and them. We are all together. We are one. We must be a world of we the peoples, as Charter of the United Nations describes. And all of us have a responsibility on achrayut to build that world. Distinguished professors, ladies and gentlemen, dear students, leaders need to move beyond repeating the same phrases and expecting a different result. It is maddening and it is not worthy of the future you are seeking to build. Indeed, it makes a mockery of all the technology and innovation that you are nurturing here each and every day. I strongly believe that members of the international community must exercise their collective and individual influence to help reach the common destination. An end to the occupation, which will soon enter its 50th year, and the establishment of two states for two peoples living side by side in peace, security, and mutual recognition. Universities are a place of dreams, and there is nothing greater or nobler than the dream of peace. Ladies and gentlemen, let us work for it together, for the future of Israelis and Palestinians and your shared destiny on this shared land and our shared planet. I thank you, and Toda. Thank you very much.